правите отдора, бе?
Fly cautiously.
This is just a test for the circuit, test for the commentator circuit. Yeah. Still grey in the... Oh, it's come back in again. Just seem to be going from green back to grey. That worries me a bit. Yeah, I don't want to talk on the circuit, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah. That's good. Okay.
Bruno from Portugal.
Right, so the swimmers are coming out for the mixed 10K.
23, Autio Itu from Finland.
And these are the early numbers. All coming out onto the pontoon right now. So this will be boys 10K.
35, Boyko Dimitrov from Ukraine. 36. Ozden Mohammed Yusuf from Turkey. From Greece. Number 39, Flores Fatin Eden from Israel. Number 40, Martinez Palop Pablo from Spain.
Right, so here we go with the 7.5K. We've got the introductions going.
Ireland. $42, Grossi Davide from Italy.
I don't have any alter. I haven't got anything to alter it with. So
from Poland. $44, La Guarda Loco from Switzerland. Mehmet Efe from Turkey.
that's
46, Hubert Arne from Germany. Greece. 48, Northern Vincent from Switzerland. Sweden, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Gabriel Jacob from Slovakia. 51, Heinze Diego Alphonse. Yeah. 53, Curtis Maxime from Belgium. From Slovakia. 55, Larry Jersey from Poland. 56, Vargas Trujillo Cristobal from Spain. Constando Simon from Italy. 58.
So they're ready on the pontoon for the 7.5K for the boys, and then the girls will be involved as well. A mixed version, if you like, of the 7.5K here at the European Junior Open Water Swimming Championships in Corfu.
60.
And the weather has changed a little bit from earlier today, so the sun is out, blue sky. First thing this morning was a little bit windier, a little bit cloudier, but temperature has risen by about 4 to 5 degrees since this morning. And we've got plenty of names and countries involved.
Morgan Dara from East Ireland.
Right, so the boys are
and Slovenia.
The introductions as we're down to bottom numbers now.
65.
65 is going to be
the from Turkey
of our Turkish entrance, and then there will be another 6 before we conclude on this. So we'll get their introductions.
67.
Busy pontoon
from Bulgaria.
for these. Two were represented earlier on today.
68. Nadine Andor from Romania.
Swiss swimmer. Bulgaria.
69. Tripoli Tiziani. Number 70, William Samuel from Great Britain.
Sam Williams of Great Britain.
And the last one athlete,
Estonia.
Pasco Zen from Spain.
Jan Pasco from Estonia. I think she just said from Spain, but he is from Estonia, most definitely. Right, here you go. Here's the list, the start list for the 16 to 17-year-old boys and the 7.5K. And remember, they go around 1.25, going to go around quite a lot on this one. 10K tomorrow, by the way, which is the Olympic distance. But obviously we saw the younger swimmers earlier today. We'll see the 16 to 17-year-olds for this one. The boys will go off first, and then we'll have a bit of a gap, and then we'll get the girls underway as well. As we saw in the first race, doesn't always matter who gets away first. So in the longer races, it's even less imperative that you get away, but because everybody has to leave the pontoon at the same time these days, it does make for a slightly different start. And there were times in the past, of course, where as they go off for the start of the 7.5K, where the men, some of them would hold back. Just wait until the early portion would disappear, and then they would join in at the back. You're not allowed to do that now. Everybody has to go off at the same time. And is it going to be a case of somebody wanting to go very quick from the start, or are they just going to want to ease back and let somebody be front runner all the way through. We always like in open water to have some nice distinct caps as well, because certainly we've got the numbers we have for this one. It could have quite an impact on the race. But we saw, certainly in the boys' race earlier today, that changed a little bit throughout. The girls' race, however, did not. That was a very, very comprehensive victory for the young Briton. But these are the 16 and 17-year-olds, so a little bit older, which should mean the race is a little bit quicker, although it's a bit longer. So as the first one was just over an hour for the girls, and was around about 53 minutes for the boys. There's a blue cap right at the front. Now, that could easily be one of the Greek swimmers. Might be Skaris. And there's Kakouvlakis is also in the middle of that pack for Greece. A bit of a spearhead formation starting there. I'll be looking for just a little bit of section of their own water. And, of course, they'll have to come back in for when they get to the boys. We'll have to go around the same way. So it doesn't matter how wide you go, how far in you come. You have to make sure there is a way to find your way to that boy. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 now. Right in the front of the field. We're having a really good attempt with the boats waiting on the side. Obviously to just make sure that everything's okay. There's a referee on board to make sure that nobody's kicking too hard or hitting too hard. You're allowed a little bit of physicality. Just trying to get a look at that number as shoulders are rolling a little bit. Certainly a Hungarian right in the mix, where there's 3 of them. There's Oliver Toth, there's Huna Kovacs, and Daniel Potechin as well. And there's loads of red caps right in the centre there. So it looks like they might be trying to hunt in packs for this one. Well, get a good look at the water. I might get a good look at the swimmers now as we introduce the girls.
Number 32. Helvex Camille from Belgium.
There's Camille Henvo from Belgium. And there'll be 2 Greek swimmers next.
Number 33.
They should get a
Nanouli
good
from Greece.
reception. Eleni Nanouli and Katerini Kroni.
Με το νούμερο 34, Κρόνια Κατερίνη.
Israel.
From Greece.
Oma Schwarzenby 135 should be next up.
Number 35, Schwarzhomer from Israel.
So Vivian Net is the first of the Hungarians. They've got a couple in the field.
Number 36, Net Vivian from Hungary.
Hannah Gatchen is next for Germany.
Hannah from Germany. Number 38.
Next up is Noah Martin
Benoit
from Spain. That's the first of the 2 Spaniards in the field.
Number 39, Sivion.
Siobhan Nakareni of Belgium is number 39. We've seen
Number 40.
2 Germans already. Here comes the third. It's Julia Ackerman. Will be wearing 140 or 40 as is being announced.
Number 41, Martinez de Salina Peña
It's
from Spain.
Salinas da Martinez is 141.
Number 42, Nari
First
Burkanas
of the
from Turkey.
Turkish swimmers is Burkanas Narin. She's 142. First of the Finns.
From Finland.
In fact, the only Finn we've seen today is Luna Kasvio. She'll be 143.
Number 44, Erdogan Talia
44
from
is
Turkey.
Talia Erdogan. Second of the Hungarians up next to be introduced. That's 145. Lily Gyorfi. Israel have a couple of competitors in this one. This is the
Number
second of them,
46,
Ofek
Odilon
Adia.
from Israel.
Next up for Switzerland will be Anina Bruin.
7, Bruin Anina from Switzerland.
Sofia Bang is the Swedish number 48.
Sofia from Sweden.
Viola Geraldo, or Geraldo actually, I think, from Italy is number 49.
Giraldo Viola from Italy.
Another Greek swimmer, the third of them, will get terrific reception, I'm sure. Georgia Macri.
From Greece.
Two more Italians up next. Eva Lenzi is 141 or 151.
Italy.
152 is Ludovica Talizzi.
Number
7 is Super Geci of Turkey. It's Lucy Fox of Great Britain. She'll be wearing 54 or 154. Give her a full number.
55.
From Slovakia, it's Elisa
from Slovakia.
Holovikova. I guess there were two Hungarians. It's actually three, because here comes another one. It's Glenda Abonyitov.
56. Abonyitov Glenda from Hungary.
Next up, from Sweden is Greta Sjögren. And I haven't seen any swimmers from Andorra today up until this point. Now we do, because it'll be Alexandra Meyer, will be 158. Two more to come for the women. For the girls, it's Leona Montanes from Switzerland. Don't get in the way, that's it. And finally it will be Ines Murenza of Spain. So the girls will be underway in just about 15 seconds. There's the full list for you. 1 minute, in fact. They're going to go off at about 9 minutes past. Obviously the boys are well on their way for their 7.5k. Not as many for the women. I think I counted 30. There's a bigger field for the men. And remember, these are all in the 16 to 17 categories. We saw the younger ones earlier in the day. We will head back to the men's boys race in just a moment. But they're all ready to go. And again, they're all lined up in numerical order, and they all have to go at the same time. Once the referee's whistle is blown, off they go. Well, you say they all start at the same time. Some just held back a little bit there, but not by a great deal. And off they go. And let's see whether this follows the pattern of the boys' race from earlier on. There was a little bit of a breakout on both sides, actually, wasn't there, earlier on? But it's a bit more streamlined. I think they're going far more central. But still maybe 2, 3, possibly 4. Trying to set the early pace here in the girls' 7.5k. Because they're all still quite young, obviously still emerging. There's no obvious front runner, no obvious favourite for any of these. But there's plenty of arms and legs and bodies, and there's some people just like to hold back a little bit, keep just off the reverse of that pack, and we'll get an idea of who's in that opening section once we get to 1.25k. I'll keep an eye on the men's event, which will have some times coming soon because they've been underway for about 10 minutes or so now. Girls going on their first lap of 5. As I say, you can see the weather conditions from the event we had earlier on in the day has changed a bit. Bright sunshine, certainly a bit warmer than it was at 10 o'clock local time when we had the previous races. It's 4 o'clock, just after 4 o'clock, 11 minutes past 4 local time here. And just some little groups coming out, little clumps of 3s and 2s. See the Israeli swimmers right at the back of that pack, just getting in there. That's Eden Flores wearing 239. Sorry, that's the women's 156. There is Glenda Bonyatov of Hungary, just at the back of that field. A couple of Greek swimmers in the mix. They'll get plenty of support from the shoreline here. So the women's... Ooh, yeah, see, that's the problem. You've got to be very careful. You don't collect one of those obstacles along the way, and that does affect the stroke. When your head's down, maybe you're not always that aware of anything that's coming along. Well, she obviously wasn't there because she managed to just about catch it with her arm. Sorry, I can't bring you the sounds at the moment from Corfu, but I will try and guide you through as much as I can. On lap 1 of 5 for the girls, so as you can see, 1.25k. In fact, it's a bit more for this one, isn't it? I've actually extended it. It was 1.25 earlier today, but if I'm doing my maths correctly, they've extended that just a little bit, reset the course for the 7.5k, and of course tomorrow it will be the 10k, slightly easier to work out. 7.5k, not a regular event. Generally in international open water it's 5k. Of course now we have the relay, which goes to 6, and the 10 and the 25, which is less a swam these days, was at the World Championships before last. It's the Senior World Championships. So that opening little group contains about, I'd say, 7 swimmers, a couple coming in from the side. So taxis are always very interesting in this, and certainly when the weather conditions aren't too adverse, at least you can make your plans. But a couple of swimmers on the left deciding to go their own way. A couple right on top. See, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? If you look at that, you've got a couple of swimmers literally side by side, and you think you've got a vast expanse of water to occupy there, and they're literally almost hitting arms as they go over. You don't really want to be that close. You don't need to be that close, especially when the field is not quite as big for the girls as it is for the boys. Got plenty of room. You really don't need to be quite that close, and I'm sure that's what the boat is instructing them to do. Just come apart. They're not going to want to issue yellows here. I think they are just starting to. Maybe it was just the slight optical illusion of that camera. They did seem to be very, very close together. 5 minutes in for the girls. We will go back and have a look at the boys who will be coming up to their first lap, finishing fairly soon. So that's one of the Germans in the mix there. Julia Barth, maybe 131. Some nice overhead shots, and in a moment we will pull away from the girls event. Catch up with the men, who are about 6-7 minutes further down the course. That's how it looks from the girls' perspective, but as I say, the boys' equivalent race is quite well advanced now, so we should be getting towards our first time check for them. Have an idea of how this race is starting to open up. Plenty of local interest, the likes of Kakoulakis and Skaris. 3 Hungarians all in the mix there as well, with Toth and Kovacs and Petechin. That's a nice, that's nothing to do at all, I can assure you, with the race. It's, well, I don't think it is, or maybe it is. If so, it's a very grand piece of boatage, if boatage is a word, to accompany this race. I think that's a separate entity. I don't think it's actually attached to our race here, but very nice to see it nonetheless. Right, we're going to get to our first time check for the boys. It's coming up as they come round at 1500. So this will be our first check. So this will be a normal Olympic event, the 1500 freestyle for the boys, which they're coming towards the conclusion of the first sector. Just about hit 17 minutes. Now, normally a 1500 in the pool would be around about 16, I suppose, 15 to 16 anyway. So we'll now get some markers as they go through the timing device. Well, it's not picking anybody up yet, and there's quite a few gone through, so I'm hoping we're going to get some times. There we go. And first is Schubert for Germany. That's Arne Schubert, who only had his birthday a few days ago, 22nd of September. Second is Kapela of Poland. Then Tripodi in third. Here they come now. Tripodi Vitali of Italy. Davide Grossi, fourth place. Kovacs of Hungary. Then Martinez of Spain. Heinzer of Germany. Obviously down to 16 on your screen. Let's go through the top 10. Hans Schubert with about four of a gap over Kapela. And then Tripodi, Grossi, both of Italy. Kovacs of Hungary. Martinez of Spain. Heinzer of Germany. Hasisagir of Turkey. Kakoulakis of Greece. Vargas of Spain. Pasco of Estonia. Ozden of Turkey. And Skaris. They're all separated by about 6.5 seconds. Naj of Romania in 14th. 15th is Laris of Poland. Loureiro of Portugal is 16. 17 is Courtois of Belgium. And top 23 separated by 10 seconds. So quite tight at this point. All of these born 2006, 2007. Quite a few actually born around September. Top two, Arne Schubert had his birthday a week ago. Bartosz Kapela had his birthday just yesterday. Gap to 1 and 2, 0.4 seconds. Tripodi third place for Italy. This is the boys race we're looking at. Quite a few breaks. The rear of the field is Dennis O'Brien. I say rear of the field, actually not quite at the rear, but back of that group was Dennis O'Brien. Already in the first, for about 1,700 meters. Quite a bit of a break on here. So top 20, about 10 seconds differential. Then we have a group which is led by LaGuardia of Switzerland, from match 27 down to 32, all quite close. Here's the pontoon, here's the coaches, here is the feeding station, of course, with it being 7.5. There is a feeding station, and they get a chance to pick up on some nutrients as they go through. Everybody has a slightly different routine with these things. Some people take nothing on first time round and then take quite a bit on second time. Some people take nothing on board at all on the last feed. Well, depends how you're feeling. If it's a particularly hot day or a particularly intense race, then that can happen quite often, that people take a feed when they weren't expecting to. It's obviously quite difficult to tell your coaching staff if you're going to do that. Definitely not the easiest thing to do. But some massive bodies, isn't it? That's what open water is about. Some people who are pool swimmers have tried open water and just don't like it. Just too physical sometimes. You have your own lane. If you're in the pool, you have your own lane. Yeah, you might occasionally make contact with somebody in the adjoining lane, but open water, you don't have a lane, you don't have a direction, you set the compass. And sometimes you could be swimming over the top of people, you'd be catching their legs. The worst thing is very often just tapping the feet. Open water swimmers often said that to me, that they can take most things, but the tapping of the feet on a regular basis is the thing that really annoys them. So we're 22 minutes into this race, and there's still plenty in there, as we mentioned. 23 swimmers were all within 10 seconds at the last time marker. Schubert had a very small advantage, but a very small one it was. Two Italians, we know what the Italians are like. They often do swim as a team formation, and Tripodi and Grossi might be doing that today. There's the support boats, obviously the other dinghies out there in case anybody should get themselves into trouble. Just, safety concerns are obviously the big thing for open water. But everybody crammed onto that little boat there. If the referee should spot some people getting a bit too close or getting a bit too physical, the yellow card can be displayed. Well, we got through a whole morning without that happening earlier on. Hopefully we'll do the same in this one. Schubert of Germany, Kapler of Poland, two Italians I mentioned, Kovacs of Hungary. Well, that's fifth at the last time marker. Got 2007 borns here. And the Estonian had a good start. Again, another of those September birthdays for Jan Pasko. 11th for Estonia. We got some viewers, I think, from Finland today. We'll be interested to see how the solitary Finnish swimmer goes. That's Eetu Autio, who was 36th, or was it the last marker. Two Irish swimmers were at the tail of the field, side by side, and Dara Horgan, who was 39th, and she shares the same birthday as me, 25th of September. Well, it looks a bit like a mill pond today, doesn't it? There's not a lot of waves there. We've seen a lot of open water swims where they're wrestling with the waves and trying to come over the top of them as best they can. A few swimmers who are now out there on their own. Probably not by design. There's going to be quite a, because we have so many numbers in this, quite a differential in terms of the quality. So for the boys, it was Schubert from Kapela, Germany from Poland, Tripodi and then Grossi were third and fourth, Kovacs fifth, Martinez sixth, Heinzer of Germany 7, Sisagia of Turkey in 8th. Kakoulakis of Greece. Now, I reckon we'll be looking at the women coming towards their first time check fairly soon. So let's see if we can get a look at what they're doing. Well, this looks to be equally as tight as does the boys' race. It still looks like potentially a German cap at the front. From this angle on this distance, I can't detect who it is, but it's obviously one of 3. Julia Barth wears 131. Gatchin is 137. And Julia Ackerman is 140. So that's the leading group for the women. And they will shortly be advancing towards the first time check for them. Make sure they get around that big yellow buoy. And then they can start to straighten up and get into that lane that takes them to the timing device. When they come underneath that, shortly afterwards, you should be able to tell you who is doing what at this stage. Again, very key that you position yourself well there. Don't get yourself bumped or barged or knocked out of the way. And we'll see who the leader is at 1500. 5th of the way through the girls' event. Around they come. And, well, it's certainly one of the Germans at the front. We'll find out which of the Germans it is who's got under that time marker first. It is Julia Ackerman. And then Martina Gente, in fact, joint second with Vivian Nett. 4th is Martinez. Macri of Greece in 5th place. Kasvio of Finland is in 5th. In fact, they were joint 5th. And a lot of shouting from the pontoon. Certainly no feeds there. I'm not sure they actually have got a feed. Look at one of the Brits there. Lucy Fox is 17th. Bang from Sweden is 16th. Corrado, so it's about 34 seconds or thereabouts separating 1 to 20. So let's go through that top 20 for you again. For the girls, Julia Ackerman of Germany, 3.3 seconds ahead of Vivian Nett and Noah Martin, who came under the time at exactly the same time, 3.3 back. Martinez of Spain, then Macri of Greece, Kasvio of Finland. And the second of the Germans is Julia Barth. She's 7th, then followed by her teammate, Anna Gatchin in 8th place. Nai Glenda Bonyetoth of Hungary, Narin of Turkey, Morenza of Spain, Henvo of Belgium. First of the Italians is 13th. That's Ludovica Terlizzi. Siobhan de Crane of Belgium is 14th. 15th, Viola Guerrero. This is after the first marker, 1500 meters. Sophia Bang of Sweden, 16th. Lucy Fox of Great Britain in 17th. Leader went through in 18 minutes and 7 seconds. That was a lead of 3.3. So both the men and the women are involved in this. They're separated out by just a few minutes. And just having a quick recap on the men's event, which was very tight. Tighter at the front than the girls at the moment. Arne Schubert of Germany just turned 17, and as has Bartosz Kapela yesterday. That's your 1-2 there. And they were separated by 0.4 of a second. Then Tripodi and Grossi, the two Italians, in third and fourth, and the second, actually the first of the Hungarians is Uno Kovacs. Well, there's the poles, which have got the feeds on them. And didn't see anybody was that keen to take it first time I'm asking. I'm sure they'll be taking stuff on board at 3K, almost certainly. And of course, as I mentioned in the commentary earlier today, the boat has to, for a couple of reasons, stay tight to the swimmers, but not too tight to the swimmers, because they obviously need to keep an eye on what's happening, but they can make some waves themselves. And if they do get too close and the swimmer suddenly veers off, they can hit the boat, which is obviously the last thing the people steering the boat want to happen, is to affect the swim. Well, we're in sunny Corfu, where the weather has certainly improved for the better. It was quite nice earlier, but now the sun is shining very nicely indeed. We're in the mid-20s, getting up towards high 20s. We'll hit our peak for the day. This is the front of the men's or boys race. Because of their age, I always think, is it men's or is it boys now? They're actually classified in this competition at the juniors as boys. But you could equally make a call and a claim that they could be described as men. Here comes the feeds. I was getting ready now. Again, you have to be very careful, because you need to indicate to your swimmer where you're positioned, and to make sure that pole does not catch anybody else along the way. So first 1500 was completed in 17 minutes. So we're heading towards about 34, aren't we? 33 and a bit, which means if they're even splitting, then we should get another time check for our front section here fairly soon. And there was very little to choose between the top 20 when we hit 1500. It's opening out just a little bit more. I don't think there's 20 as close as they were, obviously, as we get further into the race. But there's still loads there. There's still loads there. And obviously trying to find a bit of room. You want to keep a line. You don't want to have to add extra meterage on. But around those obelisks, the big kind of square boys here, sometimes they're round, but these ones look a bit more kind of square, don't they? And then they'll come to the timing device. Arne Schubert was our leader at 1500. Bartosz Kapela was second, and then the two Italians. But look at that. There really isn't much between the top 25, I'd say. Under the timing device comes Kovacs now, our leader from Hungary. Kapela is in second place. He was second last time around, still second. Schubert, our early leader, is now third. Martinez moved up from 6th to 4th. Heinze was 7th, now finds himself 5th. Tripodi has gone back 3 places. Pasco, he's making a lot of noise, isn't he? Pasco of Estonia in 8th place, then Kuhn, 9th. Kakoulakis, the leading Greek swimmer. And you can see the poles are there for the feed. I don't see much of that feed. I don't see that many swimmers feeding, to be honest. But as we work our way down, the gap is 3.1 between 1 and 2. With Kovacs from Capella. Capella very consistent so far. Second on the first circuit, second on the second circuit as well. Schubert, our early leader, still in the mix. He's a little bit back off the pace, but not by much. And there's Tripodi of Italy and Grossi, two Italians who were a bit further up the field, slightly further back now, but not too far back. Martinez of Spain, Heitzer of Germany, Hachisagir of Turkey, and then Koulakis from Greece, with Vargas of Spain in 10th place. That's the boys' event, and around they come. Just a bit further down the field. So the boys' field is bigger. You heard, come on, Dennis. But it's Dennis O'Brien who was getting all the screaming for him there. And he was 29th last time round. But there's Kovacs of Hungary who leads. So we're getting down to the back markers here. Likes of Autio of Finland, Norlander of Sweden, Dara Horgan and Sean Donnellan of Ireland. The back of the field last time round was Michal Kolarek of Croatia. And there's still plenty in the mix here. So we haven't got a front runners a long way clear like we have had in a couple of races today. They're still very tight. Kovacs taking over the front of the race. Sam Williams has pulled out. Sam Williams of Great Britain is not competing any longer. Not quite sure what the story is on that, but Sam Williams is not involved. Trying to see I can see what happened with Sam on our time up. He certainly was there. He was 37th at the first check mark, but is obviously not carrying on now. So we are one swimmer light in terms of the men. In terms of the girls, it's still everybody involved in there. And from a men's point of view, Kovacs still leading the way by 3.1 seconds. Between 1 and 2, as I say, 3.1, 5.4 over third place Ali Schubert. And just having a quick look, see where we've had two drop out here. I'm not sure that Kolarek still in there, is he? Yes, he is. Kolarek is still in there. Yeah, Kolarek is still going, 40th place for him, so it's only that one withdrawal for the men so far. Uno Kovacs is at the front for Hungary, and Kapela of Poland, Schubert of Germany, Martinez of Spain, Heitzer of Germany, Tripodi of Italy. That's the top six, separated by about 10 seconds, and a group of three quite close together. Vargas of Spain, Pasco of Estonia, and Kuhn of Germany. Koulakis and Hachisagir are neck and neck, 10th and 11th. And then the next section are about 20 seconds back in 12th place. Still plenty of time, it's lap 3 of 5, so we're not even halfway yet. ...40 minutes in to the men's race. We're a little bit further back. Seeing any swimmers in the men's who might have made a bit of a move up. Oliver Toth of Hungary, 13th for the last time check. Andrei Theodore Proca of Romania also into that top 15. But Kovacs, I think, still has that advantage, though you can see what's happening here is that they're a little bit split across the lines. They're not all taking the same course, not all taking the same line in the course. There's some beautiful landscapes and architecture here, but I'm sure the swimmers aren't taking too much of that in. All they're thinking about is getting to the end of this as quickly as they possibly can, trying to get themselves in that top 10, try and move themselves up a position or two. And it's still pretty tight with that top 4. In fact, if that is the leading group, which I suspect it is, then that group seems to have got a little bit bigger. Or is there a swimmer out on their own? Obviously, with a mixed race, it can get a little bit complicated because somebody at the back of the pack for the girls potentially could look like she is ahead, but might just be struggling at the back of the pack. But Kovacs at the 3K stage was 34.23. Kapler 34.26. Schubert 34.28. So 5 seconds between the top 3. But there's not 5 seconds between the top 3 here now. Not even 5 seconds between the top 6, I'd say. And what's the big question is, as we get back to watch the women's race, or the girls' race behind. Now, Julia Ackerman had about 3-second advantage when we last got the indicator. That was at 18 minutes, but of course we'll get a time when they come around again for this one. Ackerman, Germany, Vivian Nett, Martin of Spain. They were joint second at the last count. Martinez of Spain, then Macri of Greece, Kasvia of Finland, then the 2 Germans, Barth and Gatyan. Interestingly, there's one swimmer, as you can see. Everybody else is pretty much in a line, but of course they're coming to the buoy now, so that's why they're all moving out a little bit, because they're going to come to go around the big obelisk, and so they're having to straighten up. If they're slightly out of kilter, they're probably being told that as well, that you're actually quite a way over from where you need to be. So it's almost like they're swimming sideways like crabs to get themselves back in line. Easily, if you've got a bit of tide, there's not a lot of wash here, but it's easy to get pulled away from the line you really want, and then you'll get reminded as you head towards the next big obstacle that you need to straighten up, because otherwise you just add a lot of extra meters on that you don't want. So doing 7.5k, you get up to near 8k, and you don't want to be doing that. Might swim meterage you don't need, but it is very, very tight. Very tight. How many can you count? It's probably about 10, 12 maybe in that section. There was 11 kind of in a group last time round. And this will be coming towards the conclusion of the second lap. So this will be 3k. That will be when they go into the finish later on. They obviously don't go in that way this time. That will be for the end of the 5th lap. But Vivian Nett has taken over at the front for Hungary. So we've got Hungary very prominent in both of the races, both the boys' race and the girls' race, but Certainly isn't a winning lead yet. Far from it. Plenty of swimmers on her feet. Julia Ackerman might have decided to take a little bit of a breather here. So, right, okay, I'm not going to lead all the way through. I need to just conserve a bit of energy. If you want to be the front runner, Vivienne, you take it on. And Vivienne Net has taken it on from a Hungarian point of view. There she is with that white cap. And the boy she comes. Two side by side there. Ackerman and is it Martin? Look how close they're getting. Look how close they're getting. Here comes the feeds. They'll go on their back for a moment, just take a little bit of a feed. Might lose a position or two as well. As that feeding station is just before the timing device. Often it's straight afterwards, but it's just before here. So Vivienne now from Hannah Katchen has moved up from 8th to 2nd. Noah Martin still in 3rd place. Julia Barth, 4th. Luna Casvio has moved up a place as well. Martinez has dropped back a couple of places into 6th. Bonia Toth, I did mention her a little bit earlier on. She's come through really quickly. She was 9th and now is 7th. Macri of Greece in the top 10. Henvo of Belgium. Talizzi of Italy. Narin of Turkey. All in the top 12. You see a bit of a gap between 12 and 13th. There's another phalanx of swimmers 13 and below. Or trying to head the most direct line they can. Also, if they need to, as some have, take some sustenance, take some onboard liquid or gel. That's your top 10, and now there's 39 minutes gone in that one. As we're working our way down the field, you see some big gaps there between 13th and 14th. 17 seconds behind, then we go to 1:18 behind. Lucy Fox was 17th, now 19th. Girls event not quite got as many numbers. Two Israeli swimmers are together there, Schwartz and Adir. Nanuli of Greece. Sophia Bang was going very well early on, the Swedish swimmer, but she's dropping back. On the feeding station, they'll be replenishing those bottles, offering it to the swimmers. They don't have to take it, of course, and it can slow you down just a little bit. You have to have that technique which young open water swimmers learn of taking the feed on their back, taking it quickly and then discarding it, and of course then they have to scoop them all back up again as they replenish the supply for next time round when they come into that feeding station. So let's go through the details again for you on the girls' race before we get back and see what's happening in the boys. Vivienne for Hungary, 2.4 seconds ahead of Hannah Katchen. Noah Martin has been very stable all the way through. 3rd last time, 3rd this time. Julia Barth of Germany 4th. Luna Casvio of Finland 5th. And it's Martinez in 6th. So what have we got? 2 Hungarians in the top 7. 3 Germans in the top 8. Top Italian at the moment is, oh, here's some whistles. Now I wonder whether that is coming from the boat or that's coming from the pontoon. You start hearing whistles and you know the referee's not happy. I'll be telling some swimmers to stay apart.
Fly caution. Fly caution.
And one swimmer drop out of the men's race. That's Sam Williams. But
Fly caution.
other than that, everybody else still involved.
Fly caution. Fly caution.
Another feed for swimmers as they come up to the boys' third check, end of the third lap for them, and that's still looking very tight at the front. We'll get an idea at the moment as they come round who is doing what. Is Kovacs still in the lead? No, Kapela, who has been second all the way through, just taken over by 0.2. Top 3 has stayed virtually the same now. In fact, there's no real change, not many big changes anyway in the top 5. See who might be making a move. Well, Tripodi is still 6th. Pascoe, who was 8th, is 7th. Sagir was 11th. He's now 8th. Vargas in there. And came through in 51.30.8 for Kapela. That lead is that's quite small though. Top 6 separated by under 10 seconds. Kapela has played that waiting game very well. Second after the first sector, and then second after the second lap. And now he's moved into the lead. So Kapela, Kovacs, then the 2 Germans in 3rd and 4th, with Schubert and Heinze. Martinez for Spain. Tripodi for Italy. Pascoe for Estonia. Turkey's Sagir. Vargas of Spain. David Kuhn is 10th. So also 15.5. So really top 10 have separated themselves out from the rest now. Because Koukalakis is a further 11 seconds back in 11th place. So he's even at this stage, if there's going to be a medal, it's going to come from the top 10. So I think Oliver Toth's going to make up that 56 seconds he's behind, or Naj with 56.5 disadvantage there. But well over halfway now. Oh, and looks like Kovacs has taken over from Kapela again. Kapela, who led just, but only by 0.2 at the last sector. Schubert in 3rd place. Now this could turn out to be just a 3-headed race, but Heinze is right there. 2 Germans are side by side. Nothing really to choose between Arne Schubert and Diego Heinze. And Martinez in 5th place. A little bit of a gap, only a small one though, to Tripodi in 6th place. And then about the same gap back to Pascoe, Sagir, Vargas and Kuhn. Top 10 out on their own now. Lap 4 of 5 for the men. It does look like as the Swiss get ready for their feed for the girls. So who would that be? It was either Liana Montanes or Anina Bruin. So it's quite an art, I always think, how you do that, because A, you got to pick out your swimmer. Secondly, you got to make sure it's in the right position. And obviously make sure you don't impede another swimmer coming in. Right, so they've got, and obviously then they deposit their drink. As long as they're not taking gel, of course they can take that with them, but then those bottles all have to be scooped up. And reminding you what's happening, or was happening, in the girls' event. Vivian Nett, our leader, at 3,000. Hannah Katjen of Germany. Noah Martin, Julia Barth. That was top 4, separated by less than 6 seconds. Then Luna Kasvio of Finland. Martinez de Salinas. There we go. So for the feeding station, we know they're coming around for a time in a moment. That's the men. Looking at here, isn't it? 56 minutes. Yeah, with that time clock 56, that's when the men started on the top of the hour. And it does look like, again, there's been another change at the front of the boys' race. And that will be, Kapela's got, I think, the red cap, so he's right there behind Kovacs. Oh, he's taken it over again, according to that. Well, that was the last time check, of course, not the current rankings, but I think it's the red cap on the right-hand side is that of Bartosz Kapela, whose birthday was yesterday. What a nice belated birthday present that would be for him if he could win. But there's potential changes coming because Arne Schubert is coming back alongside Huno Kovacs. These two have never been that far adrift. 4.2 separating the top 3 last time. Got a time check, but look at that. In fact, the German might be thinking about taking this on here. German on the left, the Hungarian in the middle, and the Pole on the right. And again, they get ready on the feeding station for what will be the final feed if their swimmers decide to take it. Get that nice overhead shot, just to give you an idea of the architecture and the landscape around. But it's beginning to look even more like Poland, Hungary and Germany for the medals here. And that shot, we don't quite sure where Heinze was. He's not too far behind, but it was Schubert who was about to make the move for Germany, I think. As we go back to the girls' race, they're about 10 seconds behind. In fact, not 10 seconds, 10 minutes behind. Top of the field for them, and we last got a check, and remember they've got theirs next time check to come fairly soon. Vivian Nett for Hungary, 17 years of age, up against the 16-year-old from Germany, Hannah Katjen. The 2007 borns is Noah Martin in 3rd place. Julia Barth in 4th. Luna Kasvio of Finland was in 5th place at the last check. Here's the chasing pack for the men, but I've got to be honest, unless they can really get a shift on, I'm not thinking they're going to catch the top 3. Looks like a feed for Kapela. So very soon we'll get another indication of where we are with this, and it does look like potentially here that Schubert's made a move, I think, to the front. Let's have a look. They're starting to get a bit strung out now. I think that's probably Kapela back in 3rd place now. On lap 4 of 5 are the men, the boys. And the girls stroke women are, as we mentioned, about maybe about 10 minutes behind. Well, certainly one of the swimmers has gone out with quite a intent. His legs starting to go too now for, I think it's Arnie Schubert at the front there. And Heinzer is right in the mix. So again, so that four that we were talking about: Kappeler, Kovacs, Schubert, and Heinzer at this stage. Looks like we're very far advanced into this race that probably it's going to be 4 into 3 with Kappeler for Poland, Kovacs for Hungary, Schubert and Heinzer for Germany. Still thinking that's Schubert at the front. We're back to the girls' race behind now. These are the 16 to 17 years. Tomorrow we'll bring you the 10K, which is the Olympic event. Don't think we'll see many of the swimmers from here in Paris next year. Their aim and their target will be for Los Angeles in 2028. But there might be just 1 or 2 who creep through from this age group anyway, who might feel they're ready to have an assault on the open water next year. Girls race equally as tight at the front as is the boys. 4 seconds separated the top 3 the last time check. There's more than 3 in there. Net, Katjan, Martin, Barth, Casvio for Finland. There's a couple of October birthdays in the top 5 here. Martin of Spain and Barth of Germany. That's the front of the race. Bit of a gap back then, I think, to maybe Morenza. There's a huge gap between her and the rest then. Back to the likes of Geraldo and De Krajnik and Meyer and Supergachi. Lucy Fox in 19th. Bit of pointing from the officials on the boat. So maybe they're getting a little bit tight and a little bit close here. They're trying to spread out a bit, but they're keeping a very close and watchful eye. They hit 54 minutes in the women's race. And the girls coming around for the end of lap 4. In fact, lap 3 before the start of lap 4. So I'll see them as they come in their little spearhead order. And of course, then they have to straighten up. As we said, if you go to the extremities, go to the left or the right, and they're being guided now, being told, look, if you're bit too far out, then you're going to have to do a lot of work to get back in line. So they're kind of coming back into that straight ahead formation rather than the spearhead one we saw before. And Vivian Net, well, the Hungarians having a good day today. They've got 2 in the top 7, or had 2 in the top 7. Germany doing even better with 3 in the top 8. But Vivian Net it is, who is our leader from Hungary. 15 years of age. Has a couple of other swimmers, though, right on her feet. Well, they were on her feet, maybe a bit further back than her feet now. Katjan was a couple of seconds back off her last time they had a time check. But still making good ground, is Net. Not really allowing anybody back into the race. This will be 4,500 meters. And round they come. With now Martin. Well, that can't be right, can it? Or is it? No, well, Vivian Net is our leader. So I think we've got a slightly errant bit of information there. Because Vivian Net was our leader. I'm sure she still is. Now, hopefully we'll get corrected. So I think we can say probably safely that Martin is second. Gatien is third. Casvio has moved up to fourth in effect. And so we're just losing Vivian Net. I'm saying she's joint fifth on that sheet. Not sure about that. I'm sure she was the one that was out clear just now. Yeah, okay. It's not an exact science sometimes with this these timing devices. They sometimes can give you a little bit of errant information. Obviously, there is a transponder on the wrist of all the swimmers, and sometimes it doesn't quite tie in with what's being seen by the reader. Anyway, we'll come back to the girls in a moment. We'll come back to the boys now because they're very close to getting this completed. Nice time round for them. And is it still Capella or has there been a change at the front? That's the women's details. 4,500 for the girls. I think there may potentially be some duff information there. See if we can get some clarity on it as we go through. Yeah, still showing Martin of Spain out in front, but I was absolutely sure that when we saw the overhead shot it was Vivian Net. So unless there has been a radical change, then I think that's still potentially Vivian Net, but we'll see when we get towards the end we'll have more of an idea. Boys race is 108 old, and this will be 6,000 meters, so 1,500 left when they come through this, the penultimate timing device. And there are still lots in this mix. And how many want to take a feed? Not many. You can see that pretty much that front group, nobody has stopped for a feed. There's some a bit further back who have, but they just want to keep on going. Kapela is still our leader for Poland. Kovacs is second, Schubert's third. That's barely changed. In fact, it hasn't changed from the last time round. Martinez is fourth, Pasco is fifth, Tripodi is sixth, Vargas has moved up a bit to seventh. Heinzer, who was fourth, thought might be attacking that top three, finds himself about 12 seconds behind now. Seguir is ninth. So where has David Kuhn gone? Because he was right there in the top 10. As was Kakolakis for a while. But I think this race is starting to speed up a little bit now. That's why a few have dropped off. Bartosz Kapela of Poland was second on the first two sectors. Took over on the third. Off the fourth, he's 2.4 clear of Kovacs. With Schubert in third. Heinzer fourth. Martinez fifth. In fact, I think, is that correct? No, the top three is correct. So we're getting a little bit of duff info here. Just refresh the screen, that might help us. Into the last 1,500, so yeah, Cabell is correct. Kovacs is right. Schubert third. Martinez fourth, then Pasco of Estonia, Tripodi in sixth, Vargas of Spain in seventh, Heinze is in eighth. I did ask about David Kuhn, didn't I? Well, he's 16 seconds back here in 10th. Kakoulakis, the home favourite, is 26 seconds back in 11th place. So that's their last time around for the boys in 7.5k. Top 7 separated by under 10 seconds. That can change in 1500 metres. Look a bit further down the field, see where some of those early names are now. And Kuhn is still in 10th. The Dulu, the other Greek swimmer, is 16th. Kakoulakis is actually back in 19th now. He was top 10, but finding it a bit too much hard going, I think. Grossi of Italy, I expected to push there a bit, but he's back in 17th. Capostagno is 11th for Italy, so the Tripoli is doing quite well in 6th. The other two Italians are outside the top 10. There is another Polish swimmer as well. He's a little bit further back down the field. That's Jerzy Laris. And see if anybody else. Oliver Toth, the other Hungarian I mentioned earlier on, is 15th at this stage. So it won't be too long before we get towards the end of the men's race. Still quite a bit to go in the women's because they are 10 minutes or so behind. So we'll see the men come through to finish off. So at the 6th stage they are 1:08. Do your calculations now, work that out. Quarter of that's going to be another about 15 minutes. Well, they're well into it now, so it won't quite be 15 minutes, but they should be around about 1:20 maybe, 1:21. Obviously, the longer the distance, the slower the race generally. But it's hard to see outside top 4 here. Kapola has been there all the time, either first or second. Kovacs was our early leader. Schubert was our early leader in the first sector. Martinez, Pasco, Tripodi. Right back to Laris in 20th place. So, yeah, there's a top 10 separated by 16 seconds, and then we have to look back all of 46 seconds to the next pack, which is led by Capostagno, Scaris, Patessin, and Petelin of Italy, Greece, Hungary, and Slovenia, respectively. Women's stroke girls race is coming towards its conclusion of the 4th lap. We're just trying to clarify what's happening with Vivian Net, because the computer told us that she was 6th, 10 seconds back, but she did appear to be quite a way in front when we saw the pictures early on. So whether that was deceptive or we were getting some tough information, I don't know, but she certainly seemed to be up there. The Hungarian, we'll get that, I'm sure, clarified and corrected if needs be. And they come round for the last 1.5k, which is going to be happening fairly soon. So hopefully the timing device will give us the accurate information this time, if it was inaccurate last time. This one's actually a little bit tighter than the men's. Top 12 separated by 14 seconds in this one. Were last time we got a time check. And again, I think pretty much all the top swimmers are saying, no, we don't want to feed this time. They're just going to come round and bypass it. When they come past that feeding station, they will straighten up and come under the timing board, and then we will know whether Vivian Net is still at the front, as we suspected she was last time, or whether, well, that's changed. Spain, Germany, Finland, Turkey in the readout we had last time. And the Hungarian, who led for quite a bit, was down as 6th place, but I'm still not sure that's right. Quite nice if we get some detail, wouldn't it, on this? The women have gone round, or on their way round. And I've not got any more detail for you, to be honest, on that one. Just a quick refresh of my screen, see if they can give me more information. Yeah, here we go, I think. Oh, that's the boys' information. Yeah, girls remains the same. Certainly a gorgeous day for it. If you're an open water swimmer, these are the kind of days you really, really enjoy. Sun on your back, not too hot, not too much of a breeze, certainly not too much of a swell. Nice big waves to have to try and negotiate. The bigger boys seem to like the waves, but more slender, tinier swimmers don't really. And a lot of it can come down to what conditions are like out there, but pretty much not mill pond exactly, but quite nice to swim in. As we come towards a conclusion for the men, the boys, and still Bartosz Kapela and Unor Kovacs are very close together. Not much has changed in that battle. Arne Schubert's still up there. Pablo Martinez is still there as well. So just do my little calculations. I reckon we're probably about maybe 8 minutes away from finishing this now. Probably not too much more. And now there's 2 red caps at the front. Well, one of those is Kapela's. Who is the other red cap, I wonder? Because it's not Schubert. Schubert's in there. There's 2 side by side. There's another, it's like animals winning 2 by 2 at the moment. 2 at the front. 2 right alongside each other for 3rd and 4th. I think there's a couple right alongside each other for 5th and 6th. So I presume Pasco Tripodi and Martinez are in that little group there, but it is very, very tight. They're virtually eyeball to eyeball. Could, if they wanted to, oh, they're getting too tight. That's getting way too tight. They're swimming over on top of each other. Now, I imagine, though we can't hear it, yeah, there you go, separating out. I think they've just been warned. They came right together. They virtually clashed there, but they're coming back again together. And the referee's boat will be saying, come apart. So they would not want this race determined by yellow cards. We've not, as far as I'm aware, got any yellows yet. But they are mighty tight, those 2 at the front. It's very, very close. You can see that 3rd and 4th are quite a way apart, and pretty much everybody further back in the pack are, but the top 2 could virtually be bumping each other. Now they again, they're just separated out, I think, so we can't hear the officials on the boat, but I'm sure they're saying too close, you've got to move out. That's the front of the men's race. That looks like the women's race we're hovering over there. They're into lap 5 of 5 as well. Yeah, that is the girls' race there. Oh, wow, this is even tighter. Even tighter in the girls' race as they come towards the conclusion. There'll be, say, about probably 10 minutes after the boys finish, we'll see the girls' front of the race is mighty tight. Martin of Spain, Gatchen of Germany, Casvio of Finland, Narin of Turkey, Barth of Germany, Sean Net of Hungary is in there still, Martinez of Spain, Abonyatov of Hungary, Henvo of Belgium, Tolizzi of Italy, and Macri of Greece, all there or thereabouts in that little group. And there's a swimmer who's decided to go off on her own on the left. Now that could well be a swimmer that's being lapped, so I wouldn't read too much into that, because that swimmer on the left looked like, or is it a swimmer that's broken away from that pack? Obviously what generally happens if you're being lapped, you would pull over to allow them through, but Kovacs, Kapela, Schubert, that's the front of the men's race. We're not looking at that, and now we are. So you can see the finish in sight. Finish is not too far away now. Kapela has done all the hard work. He was second at early sector, took over. And so he's the birthday boy from yesterday is Bartosz Kapela. Uno Kovacs, Ernest Schubert, and Pablo Martinez. But it's starting to get a little bit more stretched in that group now. Top 10 was separated by about 16 seconds. And Kapela is still at the front with 2:43. His number on his arm, and indeed on his cap, if we could ever see it, but he's just a bit too far away from us at the stage. This will be a very, very strong and impressive swim from Bartosz Kapela. If he can hold on to this, just was biding his time early on, wanted to be right up there with them and not leading in the first sector, and didn't lead after the second either, but since then he's been very impressive. Also does the 50 free, does the 100 free, does the 200 free, 400 free, backstroker as well, and fly, and IM. Gosh, this boy does a lot. This time in the 50 is 27.06. Some of the hundreds, 55.6. I think maybe more impressive is his 1500. It's 15:43 is his best time. So definitely getting those down. He's ranked number 1 in Poland in so many different events, including second in the 400 IM at his age group. So Kapela, as we watch the conclusion for the men. Not long to go. This is it. Amazed people are taking a feed right at the very end here. But this will be the conclusion for the men, and it does look like Bartosz Kapela has done the business. Now, who is he going to drag with him for second and third? Kapela, immensely strong all the way through, and then Kovacs and Schubert right in there as well. Martinez in there, but it's Kapela of Poland, who yesterday had his 17th birthday, and he is going to win it. Kapela does win it. Well done to the Polish swimmer. Everybody else coming in behind him. And confirmation of second will come up in just a moment. Capella 1:24.45 is his winning time. Haven't officially got a second yet. I think it's either Kovacs or Schubert. There's an Italian in there as well, which looks like Tripodi. 1:24.45.5 for Capella. Can't tell you officially second and third yet. That's Hungarian Kovacs, I think. Yeah. .243 is Capella. There he is. And a terrific, yeah, quite right too. Raise his arm because he was superb. Was Bartosz Capella. I say a man of many talents, does all those other events, including the 400 IM. But that will be very, very sweet. Just haven't got confirmation of second or third for you yet, I'm afraid. Still not officially on my screen for the silver and the bronze. I hope it's coming soon. Well, yeah, Kovacs did get second place. That is confirmed. 4.3 behind our winner. Just a quick refresh to see whether we can get a third place yet. Well, still not confirmed. 1 and 2 is gold for Bartosz Capella and Uno Kovacs in second. I'm thinking Arne Schubert was third, but I'm not going to give you confirmation of that until I've got it. In fact, the official result has just changed, not the winner, but Arne Schubert is coming up as second now. Arne Schubert in second place and Kovacs in third. So that has changed now. Capella a winner. Waiting for it's still unofficial at this stage, but it looks like Arne Schubert took it by 0.01, in fact. So it looks like Schubert there's no photos here as far as I'm aware. So that's on the time count back. It looks like Schubert second place and Kovacs for Hungary in third. We've got the officially girls race to come, of course, but I can only confirm. I'm not even sure I can do that for you properly yet. Top 3 in the boys race, but Capella, I think we all saw with our own eyes, won that very convincingly. It took the timing device to sort out second and third, and now it's been reversed again. I think it's been reversed once more. Every time I refresh my screen, I get a second, and third. Well, now they're putting Kovacs into second. Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not official yet. Kovacs second now, Schubert third on my screen. So I think that will get resolved as we have a look and see what's happening in the girls' race. And so much happening in this one. Top 4, though, only separated by 4 seconds. So Martin Abonia Toth has moved into second place on that last time check. Martinez and Gatchin, which means that Net has fallen out of the top 5. She was our leader for so long. From Hungary, Casvio was in there, but she's now about 28 seconds back, so she's probably not going to get a medal here for Finland. Top 5 finish, though, on the cards. But 4 seconds between 1 and 4. And I reckon that we're probably getting into the realms of a finish next couple of minutes. There does seem to be a swimmer out on her own at the front. That could well be Noah Martin, who was third for quite a long time. 2 Spaniards in here. What are the chances of having a Spanish 1-2 potentially here? Well, Bonnie Toth has come through very, very quickly. She was there or thereabouts. She wasn't one of the names I was mentioning early on, but since about 5K, she's been right up there. So Martine, the leader. Bonnie Toth in second place. Then a big gap, it would seem, to third place. I'm thinking, yeah, Gatchin was fourth the last time check. Not long to go now. Just have a quick look back at the men's. Well, they're coming into the end of the women's. And, yeah, it looks like we can now confirm at least the top sector in the men's race. That was they've gone back to not giving us the score. There we go. Capella, definitely the winner. We know that, but that's not been in question. Second place is Kovacs. They got 49.8 against 49.9 at the end there. And then Martinez fourth, Pasco of Estonia fifth, Tripodi in sixth. That's the only ones I can actually confirm for you at this stage, because they're still working on the count back. But top six seem to be in with Poland, Hungary, Germany 1, 2, 3, Spain just missing out. Martinez, in fact that was really tight too. Martinez, Pasco and Tripodi separated by 0.2 of a second. Right, what are we looking at here? Hands probably coming together on this one. Very nearly. Very, very nearly. Well, is this going to be a race to the finish? And are these both Spanish caps potentially here? Martin and Martinez. No, Martin, who turns 16 next month, and Martinez de Salinas. I think these are the two Spanish going for this. Almost certainly these are the two Spanish girls going for the finish. And if that is the case, that's the men's result we're looking at there, which is not what we're seeing on the finish here. We'll ignore that. It's going to be one of the two Spaniards, I believe, is going to get the touch here. Right, we'll see if we can get a close-up of what's happening. Oh, that's the boys' finish we were looking at there, but that's not the... It's the girls' finish we're looking at, I believe. Yeah, we know the men have finished a long time ago. So the all the times for the top 18 are in for the men. But I'm going to wait and see. Sorry, I can't be more precise on this for you, but I think that was one of the Spaniards who got the touch at the end. There were two, I think it was two Spaniards going for the end. As the others start to come in, you're seeing the boys' result on your left as the girls are coming in to finish, because the boys were obviously going through all the boys' finishes, of which there will be, I think, 40. Well, actually, there might only be 39, because it looks like Holst Vigo of Sweden's not made it through the last sector. So we might have had two withdrawals from the boys' race. As far as my computer's concerned, yeah, looking like Holst Vigo is not going to finish, or if he is, he's a long, long way behind. Right, well, I'd love to give you the conclusion of the women's race here in terms of who's done what, but that's the finish for the boys anyway. Kapler we knew about, and then Kovacs was given second place. Schubert third, Martinez fourth, Pascoe, Trubady, Assis Kuhn, Heinze, and Trujillo. I don't think I mentioned him at any point, so well done to him for sneaking up into 10th. A bit further back was Scaris of Greece, 12th, then two Italians, Grossi and Capostagno. And Christodoulou was 16th. Kakalakis was right up there for a while, and they're finishing in 20th place. I think we've still got a few more to come in yet. I've only got 30 finishers, so we certainly haven't got the completed set. Just waiting for some details of the women's or the girls' race.
Fly cautiously.
Well, I think it's one of the Spaniards, but I cannot tell you which at this stage because our details are sketchy at this point. Martin and Martinez de Salinas would be the two I'd be thinking about. Bonyatov of Hungary was certainly right up there, as was Gattin of Germany. Just having a quick back look at the boys' race. And how many have we got in now?
Fly caution.
So we've got 38 of the swimmers in the men's, or the boys. Kirillov, the latest in, at 1:35. So it might well just be Michal Kolarek of Croatia to come in now, I think, in terms of the boys swimming. Right, well, there's action happening behind, which is all in the girls' event. Right, it's saying finish there. So maybe I preempted what was happening before with the pictures we were seeing. So saw two red caps, which may not have been connected with this, in which case I apologise. Let's get on to the women's 1:29.10. So this is the finish. Apologies if we gave you the wrong steer just now. Those two red caps were actually nothing to do, it would seem, with this. So completion of lap 5, which is the end of the race. Still can't give you any definitives on this. Still with the same people involved, though. And maybe Luna Casvio is moving her way through here, because she'd be the only obvious one to have a blue cap at this stage as it hits 1:30. Obviously, be careful about those little obstacles in the way. We've seen a couple of swimmers catch their arms on them, and you get your head down. You're actually not looking around you. Peripheral vision sometimes is not there. Well, the winner in the boys' race came in 1:24. Yeah, that's about right then. Yeah, 1:24 for the boys' race. So we're looking about 1:34 finish for the girls potentially here. And this will be the finish. So we will know, most definitely, convincingly, who the winner of the girls' 7.5K will be any moment now. And it's going to be a convincing victory. Noah Martin has been in the top 3 all the way through the competition. And the board will tell us that it's actually Glenda Abonyetoth. Glenda Abonyetoth comes in. She made up 2 seconds in that last sector. So it's Hungarian second in the boys, but a Hungarian win in the girls. And Martinez swapped places with her Spanish teammate for second place. I was thinking it was going to be a Spanish 1-2. And then Hannah Katchen of Germany sneaks through for third place. So that is the confirmation of the event coming towards conclusion. And Abonyetoth of Hungary. So good day for the Hungarian team. Not a bad day for the Spanish either. They've got second and fourth. Martin finishing in fourth place in the end. Well done to Glenda Abonyetoth, who will be absolutely thrilled with that, because she made her way through. That was a really clever race from her, because she was never really right at the front and just snuck her way through, and you could just see her advancing couple of places by couple of places every sector. So yes, a Polish win in the boys, a Hungarian win in the girls. Spain with a medal in the girls, no medal in the boys, and nearly made it with Martinez, who finished in fourth place. So I think all the boys who are going to finish are in. Well, 38 are in. I think 2 have definitely pulled out, and probably Kolarek has not made it to the end either. So we might actually have had 3 not make it through from the boys here. Yeah, it's showing that Sam Williams didn't make it beyond the first sector. Figure didn't make it beyond the third sector, and it looks like Kolarek has stopped at 6,000. Darren Kirillov, Bulgaria, got in with that final 38th place, if indeed Kolarek is not out on the course. Here we go. I'm getting a few more now. Casvio, Macri, Ackerman, Talitzi. There's your top 8, and then Net, who was right up there for a long time. She had a big lead at one stage. Obviously found the pace a bit too hard going and slipped back a couple of seconds every little sector, and in the end it was a big fall back in that last 1500 to over 2 minutes behind, 2:14 behind for Net. Yeah, she was 6th, and then lost 3 places in that last 1500. Envo of Belgium coming in 10th. Vivian Net was what, 2 minutes and 14 behind the rest. Naren's coming in 12th place for Turkey. Here you go. As your top 10 confirmed. So there's some confusion earlier on, but no confusion now. Glenda Abonyetoth, and then it is Martinez, Gatchin, 1, 2, 3. As the sun starts to disappear a little bit, gets a little bit cooler than it was at the start of that race, and we'll await the conclusion of everybody getting in. So I think we've had at least potentially 3 withdrawals in the boys' race. I'm trying to check and see if everybody. Looks like there were fewer swimmers in the girls' race. It looks like all 30, certainly on the last sector, were still in action. So try and check and see if, how many finishes we got. 13 so far on my screen, down to Ava Lenzi in 13th. But likes Lucy Fox and Sophia Bang were quite a way behind, but 4 minutes behind, so they'll still be coming in. And when we're all done and dusted, which shouldn't be too long from now, we will get the medal presentations for earlier on today and indeed this afternoon's. 10K tomorrow, the Olympic event, and we'll get a chance to have a look at the European juniors who might potentially figure and feature in Los Angeles in 2028. I think it's unlikely we'll see any of this lot in Paris, but you never know. They can make big strides very quickly. Some more finishers coming in. 30 for the women in total. And it looks like I say they're all going to make it. Oh no. Yeah, so 2 confirmed do not finishes in the men's. That's Holst Vigo and Samuel Williams, which
This is the line.
to over the race, and I would like to inform you that the awards will be made at 6:30.
έφερε σου λιπόθυμος. Έφερε σου λιπόθυμος.
Πολύ μεγάλη διαφορά.
Βλέπεις καπράλο
Πιο
εδώ.
μικρή.
Εδώ βλέπεις καπράλο.
Όταν βλέπεις καπράλο είναι μεγάλη.
Ναι.
Είναι εδώ πέρα, θέλει να πληρώσει το σκάφος. Δεν λέει τι σημείο.
From the marina.
Yes, I'm from the marina. Who are you?
I think it must be.
Θέλουμε λεφτά.
That I on the other side of the white. The white company.
Εντάξει, ο άνθρωπος λέει να το πληρώσει.
You're leaving when?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. So you will take tomorrow morning. I will come from there. I will take someone from there.
Okay.
Okay, tomorrow morning. Be sure. It's okay. Okay?
Δεν φεύγει.
Bye. Say bye. No. Χαρά. Okay. Bye.
When you're not there, somebody is here then.
Spirits can come there. Don't worry. Or today or tomorrow morning. Okay?
Now we are doing ours.
Yes, go. Okay? Thank you. Ναι, έτσι λειτουργούμε. Και μια χαρά όλοι έρχονται. Και θέλω να σας πω ότι και να φύγουν, με παίρνουν πίσω.
Πάντως γενικά πληρώνουν. Δεν είναι, ξέρουν πάρα πολύ καλά.
Να φύγει κάποιος που θα έφυγε έτσι κι αλλιώς. Και μου ξανάρχονται και μου λένε σας προσφέρω και μια μέρα.
Το ξέρω.
Άμα τους κυνηγήσεις με το δίκανο, είναι χειρότερο. Ναι, να μου το λες. Και αλήθεια.
Ήταν ωραία αυτό. This, I miss.
Και μετά τελειώσουμε αυτό το γιατί μετά είχαμε δύο παιδιά και δεν ξέραμε. Εγώ όταν έκανα το παιδί, δεν ξαναξεκίνησα να ξεκίνησε αυτό. Ναι, μωρέ. Εγώ άρχισα.
Χάβι! Χάβι! Αυτή που πάει μέσα, πέσεις να βγει έξω σιγά σιγά. Είναι μία που πάει έξω.
Οι θέσεις που συμμετείχαν στην κούρσα των 5 χιλιόμετρων να προσέχουν στον χώρο των απονομών.
Αυτή την άνθρωπο που κολλάει.
Και η αδελφή της, ναι, άκουσε. Η αδελφή της μάλλον, πάει ο καημένος.
I would like to invite the athletes who participated in the 5-kilometer race
Και βέβαια, μα δεν ξέρει
to
πάλι.
the awards area, please.
Ξέρει πολύ λίγο πάλι. Με φοβίζει μόνο το βλέπω.
Μάκη έχετε παίξει αντιβαλή. Εμείς παίξαμε και το κείμενο μας.
Να έχει λίγο τζέρτζερ το πλάτο. Γι' αυτό είναι ευρωπαϊκό, ναι.
Να πάμε σιγά σιγά προς τα κάτω.
white, Mrs. Pia Johansen, Bureau of European Aquatics. For the awarding ceremony for the 5 kilometers of the boys, 5 kilometers. The third one, Super Arne from Germany. The third one, Leverkusen Leo from Germany. Third place, 57. The second one, Pezzoli Michele from Italy. 57-56. And in first place, Karpati Mate from Hungary. 57-28 seconds. Of Hungary. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Pia Johansen. The next one. It's time for the awarding ceremony for the girls, 5 kilometers, 14, 15 years old. I would like to present an Olympic gold medal athlete, Mrs. Ferry Wertmann. For the awarding ceremony of the girls' 5 kilometers. On third place, Mrs. Rubio Villoria Alba from Spain. In second place, Nagi Nabsuga. In second place, Nadine Absugari from Hungary. Place, Lockside Amelie from Great Britain. Congratulations, girls. Nice race. And now, please, everybody stand up to hear the national anthem of Great Britain. Member, row member. World Aquatics Bureau member, Mr. Kyriakos Ioannopoulos for the ceremony awards. do the awarding ceremony. Third place, Super Arne from Germany. In second place, Kovat Seres Hanar from Hungary. And now it's time for the first place, Kapala Bartos from Poland. Spiros Kapralos, President of Olympic Committee, member of IOC and President of European Olympic Committee. Olympic Committee and President of European Olympic Committee for the awarding ceremony. Germany. In second place, Martinez Salinas Peña from Spain. In first place, Abonitov Glenda from Hungary. Please, everybody, stand up to hear the national anthem of